It started on a grey Thursday evening, the sort of evening when desert wind brought dust, and even within walls were oppressive. The Browns had met before, but this gathering was not like the rest. Christine didn't come in with her signature smile. She entered holding a thick, heavy folder, the edges creased from too many opening and closings. No small talk, no friendly hellos. Only the sound of her heels on the ground and the brunt of whatever she was holding. The Browns preferred to consider themselves a close-knit family, religious, dedicated. But loyalty only goes so far. And tonight, Christine was going to push each and every one to its limit. She did not sit immediately. She scanned the table, ensuring that all eyes were on her. "We need to talk," she stated. It was not a suggestion, it was a command. Robin's arms crossed almost automatically, a barrier. Kody rested back in his chair, sporting the smallest hint of that familiar grin, the one that typically signaled he believed he could charm his way out of anything. Christine began slowly, discussing the family investments that were intended to benefit all equally. But when she opened the first page in the folder, her voice grew sharper. "Some of these investments, they've been favoring some people more than others." A younger relative piped up. "Is that why we've never been able to pay for the land in Colorado?" Kody's response was quick. Too quick. Completely unrelated. But the instant that answer escaped his lips, Christine pushed a photo across the table. It was glossy, full color, Kody, pen in hand, signing documents at a high-end SUV dealership. The buyer listed? The family trust. The same trust that owned their Sedona cabin. And the date? Just days after Kody instructed everyone to tighten their belts. The room fell silent, but the SUV was only the start. Christine moved to the next section. 3 LLCs. All created within the last 4 years. None listed in the family's shared asset sheet. One offshore, in Belize. She didn't sugarcoat it. You don't set up shop offshore unless you're hiding something, or avoiding someone. Robin's face lost its color. Bank records followed. Perfectly rounded wire transfers, $100,000. $200,000. Always in neat numbers. Always clean on paper. Next, property records. Land purchased through shell companies, sold within months. One of the transactions fell on the exact date of a Utah sale. Kody had previously said, barely broke even. Christine glared up, holding each person's gaze. If half of this is true, it's the sort of thing the IRS would notice. Kody banged his hand on the table. Speculation. Nobody seemed convinced. Christine shoved the folder in his direction. Keep it. You'll use it when Harkis comes calling on that loan a little early. And when he does, none of smiling into cameras will salvage what's left. She stood up, the creak of her chair jarring in the oppressive quiet, and walked out. The door closed with a soft click that somehow felt like an end. Robin shattered the silence. "I told you we shouldn't have gotten him involved." Mary's voice interrupted, low and insistent. "We need an attorney. Not tomorrow. Now." Yanel was already dialing. "I have a contact in asset protection. I'm calling her before this gets worse." Kody stiffened. "You're treating this like we've already lost." "We haven't. This is a miscommunication that can be resolved." But the assurance in his tone was shallow. Mary began writing down names, loan officers, county clerks, anyone who might have handled the documents. If Christine's right, and this is cross-collateralization, second Robin's property won't absorb the debt, he'll begin circling the rest. Yanel returned. Step 1, put a freeze on any withdrawals from joint accounts. Robin's eyes opened wide. "You can't freeze accounts we all use." "Watch me," Yanel said unblinking. They hoped to keep it under wraps. But outside their strained little bubble, the tale was already beginning to seep out. One of Christine's secrets was overheard by a family friend and texted to someone else. In a matter of hours, the information made its way to a tabloid stringer. By breakfast time, the headline was universal: $850,000 family fund at risk, mysterious loans Ty Brown's TO out-of-state developer. And the picture? Kody at a gas station, half scowling, the sort of unfavorable photo you can't brush off. Christine read the story in Utah and giggled, not with amusement, but with that biting, "I told you so," that cuts more viciously than an insult. She created a mysterious Instagram post, a coffee mug, which she captioned, "Nothing like a little morning karma." Fans made the connection immediately. Yanel's tone was abrupt. "The story's going viral. My attorney says we have 48 hours before creditors call." Mary didn't glance up from her papers. They don't need to jump to conclusions. They just need to recognize the pattern. Kody bashed his phone on the table. "I'll deal with the press." "No," Yanel said firmly. "You'll make it worse." And then the knockout blow, a YouTube detective posted a 20-minute analysis of each and every Brown property, transaction, and transfer in the last 15 years. Dates. Dollars. Screenshots. All in public record, but presented so explicitly it was impossible to disregard. 500,000 views in 12 hours. The story had changed. No longer about a mysterious loan, now it was a pattern of shady deals. Even the most loyal fans started asking hard questions. "This isn't about money anymore," Mary said quietly. "It's about trust. And you've burned through most of it." For once, Kody didn't have a comeback. He just stared at the headlines like they were the final nails in a coffin he didn't know he'd been building. And in that quiet, everyone knew something: you can't follow the money unless you follow the truth. And the truth would lead directly to whoever had been calling the shots all along. The question now wasn't if the family would weather the hit. It was if Kody would weather the narrative that other people were soon going to share, with no compunction about speaking the quiet part loud. So, is Kody coasting through a storm he can talk his way out of? Or is this the moment his empire comes crashing down? Leave your theories in the comments, like, and stay tuned. Because the next installment will make this one look like the calm before the storm.